Welcome, food travelers, to an episode here in Singapore. In this episode, we're headed to a French restaurant for dinner. The restaurant is called Maison Boulud, which is a French restaurant, and I probably butchered that name. But they do have multiple locations throughout the world, with many in New York City, Miami, Palm Beach, Bahamas, Toronto, and Montreal. And in this episode is in Singapore. So this Singapore location is actually located at the Marina Bay Sands. It's along the scenic Marina Bay waterfront and has pretty great ambience, especially at night, as there is that waterfront light show, which was perfect for the view after dinner. And the restaurant is spread over 2 floors, and they do have an outdoor seating available as well.
You know, one of the things I really do enjoy, Micah, especially in Southeast Asia, is how the kind of mall culture is still alive compared to what it is in the States, where pretty much malls have been dying for a while. So I'm really happy to kind of see these malls are still kind of up and going, and kind of things I remember, especially from childhood.
Yes, I mean, it's great to have all these malls, especially in Asia. Like, the mall scenes are so much nicer and so much more up to date, it feels like, compared to the States. A little bit more information about this restaurant. They are open daily from Mondays to Thursdays from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. with a slight change of hours on Fridays from 12 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. and Sundays from 11:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. And we did make reservations for this restaurant, and we did request for that booth seating. We sat at the bottom floor of the restaurant by this bar cocktail area, and it was pretty nice and quiet. Even with like the seating next to the mall with this windows open, it was fairly quiet. It was very nice and comfortable with those sofa seats, and it was really nice conversation level of noise.
And it's pretty the interior, when I was looking through the footage, has a really kind of a unique look to it. Kind of reminds me again of kind of that mixture of modern plus kind of that back time, especially with the rounded edges. You know, those cafes that you see from the 1950s, 1960s, and then with that little modern aspect touch to it with the marble and everything. I find it really interesting that kind of, it seems like in Southeast Asia, or at least maybe even Singapore, that they're kind of leaning towards that direction for kind of their design for certain things.
Yeah, you make a good point. The interior is very, very nice. Like, it feels like really modern, kind of complementary to, I guess, maybe some French designs as well in there. So some of the items that we got here, we started off with half a dozen oysters, and they're from a location in France by the Atlantic Ocean or Atlantic coast. And the way they were shocked, I was pretty amazed by it. The oysters were like detached from the shell, but the flesh was still pretty much intact all around. And we did have that Iberico as ham as well. And they also came with this tomato on sourdough bread. It was pretty crunchy and pretty good and tasty all around.
Yeah, the oysters, that kind of piqued my interest. Especially, you know, here in the Pacific Northwest, we have lots of oysters here. And I know for you and myself, Micah, we tend to go out and eat oysters quite a bit. Would you say, how would you say compared those oysters are to what we have at the Pacific Northwest?
I think they're very different in terms of flavor and everything, but they were still pretty sweet. I really did enjoy them. From what I read, from what our conversation was with the server, they did say it was aged around 3 to 4 years of age, and I think they are from like the Marins Oleron. I probably said that wrong again, but that's what I came about for where they are from.
And kind of going back to the Iberico ham, I was kind of surprised, not surprised in the sense of why couldn't that dish be here, but I was kind of surprised that they threw in more of a Spanish dish and to this French named restaurant.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting that they had that on the menu, but it was sliced very thinly. It was very good and tasty. But moving along to the main course, I actually ordered the pigeon, and that came with the roasted pigeon breast, and nochi, beetroot, and hibiscus. The pigeon was really tender, and another thing that I had added on was that seared foie gras. I did see that as a appetizer that you can order, but as a add-on dish, it was only, I think, the price difference between having it as an actual appetizer or as a add-on was only $10 savings, but the size of it was actually really generous. You could see in the video it's pretty large size.
To me, it kind of looked like that seared foie gras was just kind of covered with some olive oil. Was there any other sauce or anything they went with it?
No, I think maybe some salt and pepper maybe, or salt on it. I did taste a little bit of that, but there's no other sauce on it. I think if you got the actual appetizer, it would come with some sort of sauce on it. As for that clay pot rice that you see in the video, it was actually a dish that came with something that my mother had ordered, which isn't shown in the video because she started eating it right away. But the actual clay pot rice was actually pretty good. It was made with sausage and black pepper sauce, and very similar to like Asian clay pot rice where the flavors were pretty good. It just doesn't have like that burnt rice like textures to it that you get from the Asian places.
And of course, here, Micah, we're with dessert. The souffle. How was this?
This was really good. This souffle was made with the Grand Marnier souffle with orange blossom ice cream and Moroccan orange textures. I thought it was really good. I really did appreciate them cutting it open so you can get kind of, I guess, more table side service, I would say. But service overall in this restaurant was very, very attentive, friendly. Very in line with other Michelin status restaurants. I don't really have any complaints about it. I think the food itself was pretty good as well. Definitely worth a visit if you're in Singapore, Simon.
Yeah, it looks really good. That souffle looks pretty delicious. It's something that kind of jumped out at me, and I actually want to take a bite watching it now. I see that you finished it, but it looked really good. Kind of reminds me of, I guess, a bread pudding that you would get at some other places. Would you say that's pretty similar?
Yeah, pretty similar. And I know you really love souffle, Simon, and you probably made some for your family's dinners in the past as well. But after dinner, we actually headed outside to watch that Spectra light show. It's a light and water show. It's about 15 minutes outdoor show that holds nightly here at the Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. And the centerpiece that you see in the video is actually 12 meters high glass prism, which is pretty interesting. And the show time is Sundays to Thursdays from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. with Fridays 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and 10 p.m. And it's open to the public and there's no tickets required.
Yeah, watching the clips from this, Micah, it just reminded me very much of the Bellagio water show, which you and I and myself and my family have watched many times and have enjoyed. So it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Overall, I really did enjoy this restaurant, and I would definitely recommend anyone who's looking for a French restaurant in Singapore. And for this notable is the Grand Marnier Soufflé. It's a delightful dessert that blends the rich taste of the Grand Marnier with the sweet orange blossom ice cream. The Moroccan orange textures add a fresh and zesty touch, making each bite a flavorful experience.
If you've enjoyed the content you've seen, don't forget to support the channel and hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see additional pictures of food and our travels, go over to our Instagram page and follow us there. And thanks for watching.